आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
On the show tonight, India tells Pakistan, kindly keep quiet, mind your language, or you're going to get Sindoor too. At 8:30 p.m. tonight, why I believe it's not about this fake allegation of vote chori. There's an attempt at stetocracy and not democracy. We say at Republic, no stetocracy, we want democracy. And at 9 o'clock tonight, who's going to win, Vladimir Putin or Donald Trump? And I'll tell you why I think the chances of Putin walking away with a victory are much greater than Donald Trump's. Today, in a strongly worded statement, the Ministry of External Affairs came out through its spokesperson, the excellently worded Randhir Jaiswal, and we were forced to tell the Pakistanis. And in absolute terms, this is what we said, but the meat of it is we've told the Pakistanis to shut up. That's what we've told the Pakistanis to kindly shut up and stop making threatening noises on a daily basis, which is beyond irritating. Here is what we said.
Reports regarding a continuing pattern of reckless, warmongering and hateful comments from Pakistani leadership against India. It is well known that modus operandi of the Pakistani leadership to whip up anti-India rhetoric time and again to hide their own failures. Pakistan would be well advised to temper its rhetoric, as any misadventure will have painful consequences, as was demonstrated recently.
Look at the choice of words of the MEA. Pakistan would be well advised to temper its rhetoric, as any misadventure by Pakistan will have painful consequences, as was demonstrated recently. Now the Pakistanis know what we are talking about, because we know how to hit from Rawalkot to Rawalpindi. Ladies and gentlemen, the most important thing is to execute and act, not to threaten. I'll play 2 sound bites. Yesterday we had a great officer of the greatest army in the world, the Indian Army. He was here in the studios of Republic Media Network. His name is Lieutenant General Bhuvana Krishna, fantastic officer. He's been the head of Strike Corps. He's presently the Quartermaster General of the Indian Army, which means that if the Indian Army moves in a war situation from logistics to everything, he'll have a key role, one of the top 5 or 6 officers of the Indian Army. And he spoke yesterday in a very measured tone. One of the people in the audience at the Nationalist Collective asked the Lieutenant General a question, a serving Lieutenant General. Look, when I play the next 2 sound bites, first Bilawal Bhutto, screaming an Ozempic-laden hyperbole of Bilawal Bhutto on the one side, and the statesmanlike and steely warning of the Lieutenant General on the other when he says, we'll let our weapons do the talking. I'll play these 2 sound bites and then we'll take it forward.
अगर ये हमें मजबूर करते हैं, पाकिस्तान ने ये जंग नहीं छेड़ा था, हम हमेशा अमन के बारे में बात करते हैं, और अगर आप सिंधु की तरह इस किस्म की हमला के बारे में सोचेंगे तो फिर पाकिस्तान के हर सूबे के अवाम आपका मुकाबला करने के लिए तैयार है और ये ऐसे जंग है जो आप ज़रूर हारेंगे.
We are determined to defend our nation to the hilt should anyone dare cast an evil eye on us. Operation Sindoor is a fine example of this commitment. I think it's better to hold one's rhetoric when you are talking about other nations. And I think the statements made were in bad taste. And the only thing we would assure the nation is that the Indian Army would make its weapons talk when the time comes.
The Pakistanis are appearing to be threatened. There are about 14 to 15 random statements from their leaders every day, saying that should India strike us again, we'll do this and do that. We've not even lifted a finger yet, which means that somewhere they feel and they know, and we know there will be a Operation Sindoor Part 2. It's only a question of time. And the second is there's an extreme sense of fear because this is also happening at a time when their economy has tanked by 24% and there isn't enough water for their crops because of the fact that we've turned down the taps a little bit as far as water supply from the Indus rivers is concerned. Ladies and gentlemen, the tone and tonality in which the Pakistanis and Indians speak is also very different. Here is a comparison of sound bites of Shehbaz Sharif and our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Please take a look.
मैं ये बताना चाहता हूं आज दुश्मन को कि अगर तुम हमारा पानी बंद करने की धमकी देते हो तो ये बात ज़हन में रखना कि पाकिस्तान की एक बूंद भी तुम पाकिस्तान से छीन नहीं सकते. उस खुदाए बुजुर्गों बरतर की कसम है कि अगर तुमने ये हरकत की तो दोबारा तुम्हें वो सबक सिखाएंगे कि तुम कानों को हाथ लगाओगे पाकिस्तान का तुम कभी भी.
पाकिस्तान भी भली भांति जान गया है कि अगर भविष्य में नौबत आई तो भारत आगे कुछ भी कर सकता है. और इसलिए मैं फिर से लोकतंत्र के इस मंदिर में दोहराना चाहता हूं, ऑपरेशन सिंदूर जारी है. पाकिस्तान ने दुस्साहस की अगर कल्पना की तो उसे करारा जवाब दिया जाएगा.
And ladies and gentlemen, therefore, as the Indian Army Lieutenant General said, we let our weapons do the talking. As the Prime Minister said, Operation Sindoor is still ongoing. And ongoing in a very steady sense. Today, why has the Ministry of External Affairs come out with such a clear and confident second warning to the Pakistanis? For a couple of reasons. One, Pakistan is getting too carried away with ostensible support from Trump. That's not going to help them in any conflict or war situation. Secondly, we are very steadily engaged with the Chinese. We've increased trade, and therefore there are bridges built which are built on trade, which will extend into other geostrategic areas. Besides which, we have renewed the S-400 maintenance and operations contract. We have shown interest in buying the Sukhoi 57 and not the F-35 from the Americans. The DAC has approved defense procurement worth 67,000 crores recently, only to strengthen our border security. And you may not have noticed it, but our drone and missile capability has become very strong. Drone and missile strikes have killed 3 Ulfa leaders in Myanmar recently. Though the Indian Army has denied the role, it's speculated. We have successfully tested the Prithvi 2, the Agni 1 ballistic missile of Odisha. We all saw the pictures of that. And the upcoming Tejas Mk2 light combat aircraft is set to give a very significant boost to the Indian Army, the Indian Air Force, and the country's military might. But more importantly than everything, we are very, very closely involved in rebuilding and improving the theaterization of war scheme in which all the forces work together to deal a very bloody blow to the enemy. This is not talk, ladies and gentlemen. This is action. This is execution. This is hard work. This is operational efficiency. We are not making bombastic statements, but we are very clear of the direction in which we are taking. And on the eve of Independence Day, let me tell you what that direction is. First of all, let's be very proud this Independence Day, because this Independence Day comes after the success of Operation Sindoor. Ladies and gentlemen, I can safely make a prediction. Operation Sindoor is not just on. We are absolutely sure that if and when the need arises, though the scale of our response may vary, once we have said every terrorist threat, every terrorist action will invite a reaction from us, and we've said so officially, we have explored and opened up all military options ahead of ourselves in terms of attacking Pakistan, and we've shown abundant clarity of our intent during the surgical strikes. And now, during what happened during Operation Sindoor, I have no doubt that not only if required will military action be taken, but the next round of military action, when it's taken, and not if it's taken, will lead to a resolution that Pakistan should shudder to even imagine. Let's debate.
India has hit back at Pakistan's incessant warmongering.
We have seen reports regarding a continuing pattern of reckless, warmongering and hateful comments from Pakistani leadership against India. It is well known that modus operandi of the Pakistani leadership to whip up anti-India rhetoric time and again to hide their own failures. Pakistan would be well advised to temper its rhetoric, as any misadventure will have painful consequences, as was demonstrated recently.
This comes after days of non-stop war rhetoric by Pakistani generals and politicians. Only 4 days following Asim Munir's hollow dump truck nuclear threat made from US soil, Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif yesterday weighed in.
मैं ये बताना चाहता हूँ आज दुश्मन को कि अगर तुम हमारा पानी बंद करने की धमकी देते हो तो ये बात ज़हन में रखना कि पाकिस्तान की एक बूंद भी तुम पाकिस्तान से छीन नहीं सकते। उस खुदाए बुजुर्गो बरतर की कसम है कि अगर तुमने ये हरकत की तो दोबारा तुम्हें वो सबक सिखाएंगे कि तुम कानों को हाथ लगाओगे पाकिस्तान का तुम कभी भी।
Time and again, Pakistan's desperation becomes apparent.
अगर वो नहीं मानते सिंतास मुआहिदा को, डैम और कनाल्स निकालने की कोशिश करेंगे तो फिर पाकिस्तान जंग करेगी और हम 6 के 6 दरिया के पानी अपने अवाम को दिलवाएंगे।
रब्बे काबा, हम तेरे आगे दरख्वास्त करते हैं।
Each statement more reckless than the last. From podiums to parliament, Pakistan's leadership has made warmongering its political fuel. But India's position remains crystal clear. Cross the line and consequences will follow.
आतंकवाद के खिलाफ भारत की लड़ाई न रुकी है न थमी है। आतंक का फन अगर फिर उठेगा तो भारत उसे बिल से खींचकर कुचलने का काम करेगा।
जैसे हिंदी में कहते हैं जो जिनको कुछ करना होता है वो डेली चीखते नहीं हैं। And this is the problem with Pakistan. What we have to do, we'll do. I gave a little bit of a report card earlier. Professor Nalapat, Shazia Elmi from the Indian side, and Brigadier Waqar Hasan Khan, Syed Akhundzada Chatan, who's a member of the National Assembly, former member of the PPP, and Adnan Haider, who's a journalist from Islamabad. We told the Pakistanis today to shut up. We told them to shut up. Did they get the message? Professor Nalapat, do you think they got the message?
They got the message during Operation Sindoor itself.
Yeah.
which is why, frankly, you study the body language, Arnab. You study the body language of the MEA spokesperson and Prime Minister Modi. It's cool, it's calm, it's composed, and frankly, it's not threatening. It's simply being very factual. Look at the body language of the gentleman from Pakistan who were in the discussion. You can see this is frankly what is called bluster. And the bluster comes from fear. And frankly, Arnab, this kind of nuclear bluster, I mean, Moni made it from the United States. The US has long been accustomed to trying to say that Pakistan is a fully, resourced nuclear weapon state. And so therefore, be careful. You disarm, we'll get the Paks to disarm. The reality is, frankly, the Indian nuclear arsenal is way ahead of the Pakistan arsenal. And I want to ask you, will any rational person talk about wiping out half the world? Any rational person? And why is it being taken so lightly? It's been taken so lightly by the rest of the world. Frankly, India also has taken it, seriously, but certainly not, in a threatening manner, because I think the rest of the world is fully aware of the situation. And I would like to just end this segment, Arnab, by saying, I think it's high time that India start exploring together with another nuclear weapon state, perhaps two nuclear weapon states, the question of taking out the Pakistan nuclear capacity once and for all. I don't believe they've got a nuclear weapon as yet. They got a crude nuclear device. Had they got a weapon, they would not be talking like this. No responsible, genuine nuclear state talks like this. They talk in the language of the Prime Minister of India and the MEA spokesperson. This kind of rhetoric shows it's bluster born out of fear, sheer fear, and frankly, mixed with a lot of bluff. Arnab.
I agree with you, but they keep saying that if you do something, we'll do something. If you do something, we will use nuclear weapons. If you attack us, if we feel threatened. I would like to ask Syed Akhundzada Chatan. Mr. Chatan, did you not feel threatened when we demolished Noor Khan, Rafiqi, Murid, Sukur? काफ़ी नहीं था क्या? आप जो कहते हैं आप हमें थ्रेटन करेंगे तो हम कुछ करेंगे, तो हमने तो सियालकोट, पसरूर, चुनियान, सरगोदा, स्कर्दू, भोलारी, जकोबाबाद, हमने जब ब्रह्मोस यूज़ की, योर लीडर्स आर सेइंग कि हमें समय नहीं मिला जब हमने when 19 supersonic cruise missiles entered your territory, right, along with a similar number of scalp missiles, we've done what we did. You could not do anything. आपका कोई nuclear bluff नहीं है आपके पास. Your nuclear bluff has been called. We have much more than you in terms of our nuclear arsenal. We don't keep talking about it on a daily basis. हमने तो कर दिया, आपको nuclear use करना था, आपने तब तो use नहीं किया. Because you know that you will be wiped off the face of the earth if you try with India. So why do you want to look bad by repeating these empty threats all over again? Sir, you are muted. You are muted. Can you unmute yourself, sir? Thank you. Sir. I can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself? Sir, can you unmute yourself? Okay, I'll tell you to unmute yourself. I want Brigadier Waqar Hassan Khan to speak to that. Brigadier Waqar Hassan Khan, we have already called your nuclear bluff. We've hit you so badly, then you keep saying that you will use nuclear weapons, you will destroy the world, you'll do this and do that. But you did nothing during Operation Sindoor when we hit you. You only went to complain to the Americans, which means you have no capability. You have no capability, or you're aware of how hard we will hit you back.
Allow me to talk. That's the problem last program also. I always say it's 1 billion 40 crore people have, a little bit of hard to listen to argument, because then, there's no fun. Point is that there is something known as the nuclear threshold, which is calculated in terms of conventional economic or demographic losses. And these are with every nation. Like even Russians have not used nuclear weapons despite their heartland was attacked. So there's a sense in basically when you're talking of nuclear weapons. And talking of rhetoric from Pakistan, and state whose media had captured Lahore and Karachi, for God's sake. Let's not get into that. Main thing is that Pakistan feels that we were able to do so much of damage, which is recognized by the international community and international security community.
In the international
there was
community,
no need.
Yeah? Recognized by whom? Name one expert. You can't keep talking like that. You have to understand that you have to understand here.
Just one minute. Of the US,
do you think? Okay, let me ask you this, Brigadier.
Brigadier,
I ask you this,
Brigadier.
Brigadier, listen.
It can't be that India desires something and
Brigadier, we have called your nuclear bluff. 1 minute.
No. It's not calling off a nuclear bluff.
2 minute. मेरी बात सुनिए.
Any missile force would penetrate. Even the Russians couldn't stop. It's, I think, one of the best, air defense systems and missile power. Missiles do penetrate defenses, and we hit your 36 military bases. So what could you do? Now, the other thing I just want to make an announcement.
The thing is that you have not been able to provide.
Now we have a Pakistan.
Brigadier, you have not been able to provide any proof. I'm requesting you to tone down. Don't tell me later I did not warn you. I'm requesting you to tone down. I'm requesting you. Dekhiye, 1 minute. Listen to me.
Toned down my voice.
Listen to me now. Listen to me.
I know the audience.
First of all, एक मिनट. Thank you. एक मिनट, Brigadier साहब, एक मिनट. देखिए, एक मिनट. See, we can do more, I'm telling you. And Professor Nalapatna, we can do much more.
Be my guest.
1 minute.
Yes.
Just we can do much more. We have enough and more ability. Remember one thing, Shazia, that we have not even used the Indian Navy 1% of what it can do. We have destroyed Kirana Hills.
Correct.
We made them go crying to the Americans when we have not even done 1% of what we can do. Now all we are telling them is, बदतमीजी आप लोग बंद कीजिए. डेली आपके नेता आके ये बोलते हैं, वो करें, देश दुनिया बर्बाद कर देंगे, धुला देंगे, ये करेंगे, वो करेंगे, रिलायंस पे अटैक, ये करें. क्या है ड्रामा? See, don't talk too much and
Arnab,
do too
they're a
little.
failed
Shazia.
rogue nation.
Shazia.
Arnab,
Shazia
Pakistan is a failed nation. It's a rogue. Become a mere vassal
Shazia
state.
के बाद, Shazia Elmi.
It doesn't have any credibility of its own. There is no integrity whatsoever. Like pipsqueaks, they run from pillar to pillar, begging for arms and arms. ALMS and ARMS. And that's all they can rely on. Yes, there are two things they can rely on. They can rely on the terrorists, the homegrown terrorism industry, the only cottage industry that they have. And yes, they do talk about the nuclear capability, which the bluff of which we have called out loud and clear. And this nuclear saber rattling, which is their stock in trade, as very beautifully worded by the Ministry of External Affairs, is something that is not going to yield them any results. But there's one more thing they're aware of, and they know, and which is why you see the fear written all across their faces, which is the jugular that India has, which is the Indus Water Treaty being held in abeyance, and what it means for Pakistan economy, agriculture, citizens. And that is the biggest fear. Nuclear bluff called out, terror havens neutralized and will continue to be done so. But now this is what's bothering them. The fear is written and is writ large on their faces, and you can see it. So they're threatening and threatening more, but everybody knows they're a pathetic vassal state with nothing much to talk about. Their army chiefs come and go around Pindis where all the power is, which is obviously ISI. Their chiefs go, faster than their cricket captains do. Economically, you just mentioned where their economy is dropped to 24% further. They keep begging for arms and arms, and that is who they are. So clearly, we're not equals. We feel sad for them. And yes, we stand our ground. We will not be bullied. They can go to people here and there. They can go to various chaudhries here and there, help us. And the chaudhries have every right to speak to us. But what we do is what we are doing. Operation Sindoor has only been paused. MEA spokesperson said it very clearly. It has only been paused. And two, where Indus Water Treaty is concerned. and the court and jurisdiction is concerned, we do not care for whose jurisdiction it is or what the court has to say, because those are our waters and our control, and it is in abeyance until Pakistan learns to behave itself. It's very clear. So Brigadier Saab and whoever's from the Pakistani side, you'll be well advised if you back off and stop behaving like a petulant, miscreant, juvenile delinquent.
Adnan, the more important thing is that today you realize that at one point of time, at one point of time, we were one country. At one point of time, we were one country. Look at what your Islamic fundamentalism took you. Fundamentalism से आपको मिला क्या? Look at your country's economic situation today. Why do you think, look at your economic situation today.
Can I report?
No, Adnan, all I'll say is only one line. You keep saying, if you attack us, we will use nuclear bombs. If you stop the river water, we will destroy India. Now, I want to tell you, we have stopped the Indus water by 20%.
Yes.
We have already stopped it by 20%.
I challenge you. Arnab ji, I challenge you. मैं सहाफत छोड़ दूंगा अगर आप साबित कर दें कि मेरे आर्मी चीफ ने ये कहा हो कि मैं न्यूक्लियर मारूंगा, आप साबित कर दें कि शहबाज शरीफ ने कहा हो, मैं सहाफत छोड़ दूंगा. I challenge you, अर्नाब गोस्वामी. I challenge you, अर्नाब गोस्वामी. आप इंडियन अवाम को मिसलीड कर रहे हो.
अच्छा एक मिनट, अदनान जी, आपके आसिफ मुनीर रिसेंटली गए अमेरिका में कोई टैंपा करके जगह है, वहां पे इन्होंने एक पार्टी कराई उनके कॉन्सुल जनरल के लिए, जिसमें उन्होंने कहा कि हम एक गार्बेज ट्रक है, कचरे के ट्रक है, और भारत एक शाइनिंग मर्सिडीज कार है. ये सब जगह कोट, ऑल ओवर इंटरनेशनल मीडिया इट इज देयर.
Don't do this.
What should I do? It's all over. It's been quoted.
मैं बताता हूँ. मैं स्टोरी बताता हूँ. मुझे एक मिनट दे दो.
अच्छा बोलिए. He's getting excited. He's getting worked up. हाँ बोलिए अदनान जी, क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
60 सेकंड. देखो एक शख्स है जिसका नाम आसिम मुनीर. वो आसिम मुनीर आज हिंदुस्तान के ख्वाबों में आता है, नरेंद्र मोदी के ख्वाबों में आता है, और उसको खौफ आता है. देखिए आप सारे डरे हुए हैं मुनीर. वो ऐसा आर्मी चीफ पाकिस्तान को मिला, कर उसके बारे में पढ़ो. मैं बताता हूँ, इंडियन इंटेलिजेंस नहीं जान सकी. आज मैं आपके शो में बताता हूँ आसिम मुनीर कौन है. आसिम मुनीर
like Balochistan and trying to make small deals just to cover himself.
अच्छा शाजिया, let him talk. Shazia, he's getting angry. Shazia, let him talk. बोलिए अदनान जी, प्रॉब्लम क्या है?
बताए. सुनो आज नहीं, अर्नाब दिस इज अनफेयर. मुझे 60 सेकंड तो दो भाई. मैं बताता हूँ. आसिम मुनीर वो वाहिद कमांडर है जिसने 20 साल ऑपरेशनल एरिया में गुजारे. वो कमांडर है जो इंटेलिजेंस चीफ रहा. अरे उसने हिंदुस्तान की अफवाज के, हिंदुस्तान की हुकूमतों के मतलब रात की नींदें उजाड़ के रखती हैं. आप सबको कुछ ऑब्सेस क्यों उससे? भाई उसके अलावा भी तो बात करो यार. आपके हर प्रोग्राम में, आपके हर न्यूज़ में
अदनान हैदर, ये आपकी जो ISI की प्रोपेगेंडा को रट के, मेरी बात सुनिए. एक मिनट शाजिया, ये ISI के प्रोपेगेंडा को रट के इधर मेरे प्रोग्राम में आके आसिफ मुनीर की बायोडेटा दिखाने की कोई जरूरत नहीं है आपको. मेरी बात सुनिए.
I am ISI propaganda. I am proud of my agency. Have you proud of your raw? Arnab, tell me. Have you proud of your raw?
Of course, I am very proud of my raw because one day I know that my raw is going to get your Dawood Ibrahim.
You have zero capacity.
Now let me tell you one thing. Now listen. I ask you, Adnan, you're not being serious. You're not being serious. I am only on one singular point. I am a focused Indian journalist leading the largest news network of South Asia and Southeast Asia put together. Now listen to me. मेरी पहली ये बात सुनिए. मेरी बात सुनिए. Adnan, I'll tell you one thing. Adnan, ये इसको कहते हैं इंग्लिश में इसको कहते हैं एक्शनेबल इंटेलिजेंस. we had a lot of actionable intelligence about your country and about all the bases which we have hit, okay? And we have done this on our own. We don't need any external countries. We don't need help through the American intelligence system or the Chinese intelligence system. We have done this on our own, and never forget, never forget. Are, 1 minute, please.
Your army, your intelligence.
Now, my army has broken your country into two already. You want us to break you into another two parts? We can do it. Now, Brigadier, please come back to the debate.
They're a broken lot, Arnab, to start with. They are a broken, splintered lot.
No. The question we asked on the eve of our Independence Day, and I'll go to my next debate in a second. I ask you, Brigadier Hassan Khan, please tell me, we hit Kirana Hills, which is your most significant and sensitive nuclear-linked facility. Why did you not do anything in terms of a similar response to us? Why did you fail? Why are you such failures? You went to the Americans. You had no response to our attack on Kirana Hills.
The point is that I told you that...
Why did you, if you had the ability that you now threaten us with...
I agree that...
Why did you not do anything in response? Yes, Brigadier and Professor Nalap.
Acknowledged by Colonel Sophia Qureshi and your, people who briefed it. And now you have a bout and, basically that, you shot. It was very, very funny. Entire world knows that,
I would like to tell you that I'm sure you've heard the name of Damien Simon. He's one of the most regarded geointelligence experts in the world. He's the one who shared the images on X talking about the impact of the hit on Kirana Hills. A geointelligence expert called Damien Simon. Can you name one geointelligence expert recognized at a global level, or one global body, or one global university, whether Harvard or Oxford, or whether Chatham House or RUSI, which has published a single paper saying that Pakistan has had a successful hit?
Listen, National Interest is the most prestigious magazine which came up with 2 articles, and they do it on global security. That Bloomberg, then you had, Independent. So please...
Bloomberg is not a defense magazine. Bloomberg covers the markets. Now, here you are again going crazy. You must know this much.
False fake news, please.
Next, you'll be telling me...
Media which had captured Lahore port should not lecture us, please.
Now, I'm asking you that why did you, when we hit your nuclear assets... Now, don't give these empty threats.
No, it's not empty.
Otherwise, we'll be forced to hit you harder next time.
Pakistan Army Rocket Forces Command has been raised. And I tell you, we'll start from your eastern seaboard, from Andaman Island. We'll spare Indian Punjab and hit you everywhere.
By the way, Andaman Island is not near Punjab.
Anything.
Please get your geography right, Professor Nalapat.
Look, I want to point out, Arnab, that India's space capabilities are well known. In fact, NASA had long been wanting to cooperate with India, and finally they are being allowed to do so by at least 2 US administrations. India's space capability, the point about space capability, it's, we are going to have a moon landing mission. That's absolutely no joke. It's a very sensitive, high-tech mission, and it's been developed within the country. Our entire nuclear and space program was developed in the teeth of sanctions from the rest of the world, China, US, you name it. And yet our scientists developed it. Our young people have talent, innovation. Under this government, innovation and talent is being rewarded, is not being choked as it was in the past by getting corrupt officials to harass them. That situation has changed, especially in Modi 3.0. And we have demonstrated our space capability. Please, my friends in Pakistan, and I can assure you, as someone who has been a regular contributor to the Pakistan Observer for more than a decade, I have no quarrel with the people of Pakistan. Allow me to say that please don't talk like this, because the more you talk like this, the less seriously the world will take you.
The world will take you, and the more...
the world will take you, and neither will India take you. But India has given a very blunt warning that it will have very painful consequences, and painful with reference to what happened during Operation Sindoor. So please take the MEA spokesperson and the Prime Minister's word seriously.
Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you, in 7 days, we crippled them and made them run to the Americans. In 5 days, we made them run to the Americans. In 1971, in 13 days, we made them capitulate. They must know the size and strength of the country they are dealing with.
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।